Hello and welcome. Welcome to Her Smile. My name is Adele. Thank you for joining me. Now here at Her Smile, we specialize in her energy, so that's fitness and exercise for women over 40, okay? I'm 59, and so I'm out here putting my hand up going, I've come up with unique formulas to help women understand exercise, okay? Because they go to the gym, they don't get the results that they want, and they think that there's something wrong with them. Actually, there's not. What the problem is that they're not being taught how to exercise correctly. I'm an ex-ballerina. I danced for a ballet company. I had my own ballet school for 23 years. I've had 41 years of teaching experience with bodies. So I know what I'm talking about, and I've come up with my unique formulas to help you, yes you, get fit and strong and healthy, because you need to be taught correctly, and that's what I specialize in. So we specialize in all those things, but you are nothing without your health. So where do you start on your journey to health, beauty, and feeling fit and confident in your skin? And you start right here, right now. Okay. And as I said, you are nothing without your health, so we always start with that first. So great. Thank you for joining me. Now, this week's topic is one that's something people don't like to talk about, and that is your pelvic floor. All right. And yes, your pelvis does have a floor. Okay. Excuse me. So as I explained in the episode, I told you that the anatomy of the pelvic floor, all right, that it's a muscle, excuse me, it's a muscle that sits between your legs, all right, like that, and it's a hammock, okay, and its function is to hold all your internal organs up and inside your body, all right, and then I told you about the anatomy, okay, that in that pelvic floor, that's where you excrete. So it's through the rectum, through your anus, it's through the urethra, and it's through the vagina where you gave birth. So those three holes, as it were, are being supported by this pelvic floor. And if you've given birth, and as you age, this muscle, because it's a muscle, becomes weak. Excuse me. It becomes weak, and so it loses its elasticity, as I explained, and so then what happens is you start to feel these horrible symptoms of incontinence or severe backache or problems when you're having intimate relations. Okay, so what can we do to fix it? And I told you that the exciting thing is that your pelvis is a muscle. And muscles can be strengthened, just like every other muscle in your body. But what you don't realize, and what's not being taught out there, is the fact that pelvic floor is the bottom line to exercise, all right? So, and yes, you are recruiting your pelvic floor, you are not getting the full benefit of exercise, and you're not understanding your exercise the way you should. And that's why I'm so passionate, because no one taught me this. I had to work this out for myself. But in doing so, I found the most remarkable and very simple solution to everyone's problem. And the ladies that come through the door here are getting the most amazing results. Okay, so go to our website and read our testimonials, you'll see. And it's all women over 50 that are getting, well, actually over 43, that are getting absolutely incredible results with their pelvic floor, with their strength. They're so excited about the fact that they can actually get results now at this age, post-babies, all right, post-childbirth. You can actually pull yourself back together, and that's the good news, and that's why I'm here in front of you. So now I hope you understand the importance of the muscle. In this episode, I want to talk to you about the importance of the pelvic floor and the way you stand and your posture, all right? So posture and pelvic floor are connected. Everything is, which you will understand eventually, if you stay with me long enough for me to explain it to you, okay? So what we're going to talk about now is, first of all, how do you stand on your own two feet? Because if you're not standing correctly on your own two feet, you're actually causing huge problems. And this is the reason why so many women out there have got knee, hip, and ankle injury and pain, all right? And it's a reason why people out there have got the lower back pain, and it's a reason why they are having surgery for hip replacements, knee replacements, ankle replacements. Okay, so how do we prevent this from happening? Well, first of all, you need to understand that your legs are meant to be perpendicular. Just like the legs of a table, they are directly underneath the table. You don't see a table with legs like this. The legs are directly underneath the table, all right? And they offer the support that the table needs. And so should your legs. So when you stand with your legs open and too wide, and then you try to stand all day on them and you get tired, it's no wonder that you start to we call pronate on the insides of the feet. Then you put on weight, all right? You start to put on weight. This then eventually creates more tension on those feet, more pronation. Can you see how my knees are caving in? Now we walk like this all the time with this poor posture. Okay, we rounded with our pressure on our toes and on our knees. And then you tell me, well, why have I got sore knees and ankles and hips? Well, I think you can see why. Okay, so it's very simple, ladies. I want you to stand with your feet directly underneath your hips. So your feet should never be wider than your hips. In fact, the more I work and train with my ladies, the more I train my own body, I have become to realize that your feet need to be closer underneath your hips, all right? Okay, the closer they are, your brain's going to think. I want you to think that your brain, your feet, your weight is on your big toe. Push your big toe into the floor, your baby toe into the floor, the outsides of your feet. Now that's how you should be standing, okay? As opposed to this, standing with your feet directly underneath your hips, okay? As opposed to out and like this, okay? You're going to bring your feet in underneath you. Now you've got big toe, baby toe, outside of the foot heel. Have you got that? Right. So now when you're standing on those feet, I don't want you to have your weight on your toes, okay? I want your weight to be in your heels, okay? I want you to feel as though my toes are underneath, my fingers are underneath your toes, okay? So that your weight's in the back of the foot. So now if you actually do that, you'll actually feel your backs of your legs switch on, all right? And that's what we call your posterior chain. This area all the way up the back, okay? We want the posterior chain to switch on, all right? Now you'll feel that you actually have to squeeze your bottom quite tight to hold you there, okay? So now your bottom's squeezing in tight. Sorry, it's getting hot now. You're squeezing your bottom in tight, so I want all of this squeezing tight, okay? And now you're going to stand up really, really tall. So many people are standing like this, okay? We're told that as we get older, we get shorter and shorter, and it's called gravity. Well, no, it's not. It's called loss of muscle, which is called atrophy, all right? So what we actually want to be doing is standing up very, very tall and putting our shoulder blades flat as opposed to standing round-shouldered like this, okay? Shoulders back and down, and pretend I've got you by your ears. I used to say to my ballet pupils, pretend I'm holding you by your ears and I'm pulling you by your ears to the ceiling, all right? So I'm pulling you up by your ears to the ceiling so you're growing. So what's actually happening is you're making your spine long and neutral. We call it a neutral spine where there's no kinks and lumps and bumps in it. It's completely straight. So if you're standing up very, very tall with your weights in your heels, okay, and you're growing through the back of your neck, that's how you should be standing, ladies. And what the secret is that you now become the most amazing coat hanger for your clothes, because now your clothes are going to hang beautifully on you. Those beautiful fabrics in your garments, they will now hang beautifully as opposed to you round-shouldered like this, okay? I want you up, long, pulling through your ears, standing beautiful and erect, okay? Right, so let's recap. Big toe, baby toe, outside of the foot heel. I'm driving through the heel, all right? So my weight's in the heel of my foot, okay? My toes are loose, all right? So what happens now is that the backs of my legs switch on, as I explained. Backs of the legs switch on, and actually your bottom now has to squeeze in tight because that's going to help prevent you from falling backwards, okay? Now from there, you're going to take your shoulders forward, up, back, and down, okay? And you're going to grow through the back of your neck. Be nice and long and tall. All right. That's how I want you to be standing. No more of this, please, okay? Get up tall. Lift your nipples, ladies, okay? Feel as though I've got my hand and I'm running it up the back of your neck. That's what I want you to be doing, growing tall through the back of the neck, okay? And then I want you to be standing in the backs of your heels. Please play with your toes, make them be loose, and make sure that your brain is remembering that your feet are underneath your hips and we've got big toe, baby toe outside of the foot heel. Now, if you've got a tennis ball at home or any ball that you can find, we're now going to give our feet some TLC because the muscles in our feet become very, very tight, okay? If you've got cramping in your feet, it's because you have got tight calf muscles. So if you take a ball and you start to roll your calf muscle, okay? roll your calf muscle. You'll be astounded at how sore your calf muscle actually is, all right? So you're going to roll that calf muscle, okay? And then from there, you're going to go into the ball of the foot and roll the foot. Get in the nooks and crannies. Now, I like a lot of pressure when I roll, so I actually do it this way. I'll show you like that. I put the ball on there and I roll like that, and I put the other foot on top and I apply pressure, okay? Now, when you find a pain, in wherever the pain is, if it's in your foot or if it's in your calf muscle, you find the pain, all right, pushing down hard, you find that pain. If it's a 10 out of 10, you stay there, all right? You allow the pressure into the ball, okay, and you keep that pressure there, all right? You push it down and you keep it there, because when you do that, you actually help the muscle to release, okay? So you don't roll it, you find the 10 out of 10 spot and you stay there and you apply pressure, and that will help the muscle to release, okay? And that's what we want to do. So ladies, if you're suffering with cramping or cramps in your feet, it's because your calf muscles are so tight, because we spend all day on our feet, okay? We spend all day on our legs and we just expect them to get us from A to B, and we don't give them time of day, all right? We need to give our bodies some TLC, some love. So get yourself a hold of a therapy ball. You can buy them online, or you can just use a tennis ball or a golf ball, okay? And you're going to use that and roll. So you can sit and do it while you're in front of the TV, okay? It's a good time to roll. And just as I say, when you find a pain that's 10 out of 10, apply pressure, deep breathing, lots of breath, and allow the muscles to release. Okay, so I hope that you've now learned how to stand correctly. You've learned the anatomy of a pelvic floor, and you've learned that you actually can heal it, you can restore its health, you can strengthen it, because it's a muscle like every other muscle in your body, okay? So, for part 3 and the final part of pelvic floor, where you will then gain access to my pelvic floor tutorial, is tomorrow night, this time, 7:30, here in this place. I'm going to give you the final parts of pelvic floor, and let's discuss it, and let's talk the health of your pelvic floor. But I just needed you to understand all these things before we went straight in, okay? I need you to understand and process the information, okay? And I'll see you here tomorrow night, same time, same place, okay? Thank you, and have a lovely evening.